Really,
yes, okay. Well, okay, let's talk about this thing you've rejoined. I understand you've come back into journalism because you find this race involving Trump bracing.
I think he's, and this is the argument the never Trump people are going to have to say. This man is not like another candidate with a different set of views. He is actually a threat to our entire political system. What he represents is a kind of real, powerful force from below that wishes to abrogate almost all the basic rules of American politics, to destroy our foreign policy, to destroy our alliances, to rev up a global religious war, which he delights in, rather than tamp it down, to expose and actually make civil unrest racially and culturally in this country a very live possibility. He would be a president that would do anything but calm things down. And so when you have such a figure, such a terrifying figure in the race, you have to begin to say, no.
Well,
this person is exceptional.
Then you have this massive conflict, which is going to be addressed in New York to some extent, of a Republican Party which says basically we've got to give it to him if he has the most delegates, even though what you said about the Islamic, the ban on Islamic, remember, coming into this country, the wall, all these things.
The Republicans who care about their own country, who care about the decency of this country and its constitutional stability. Because if he were to become president, we would be in the middle of a constitutional crisis almost immediately.
It's a short term.
We're going in a different direction.
It's not entirely,
very different.
It's not entirely the base. These are new people who've come into this party.
Well, no, exactly.
New people inspired by a neo-fascist agenda.
Okay, let's look at this. After losing last night, Donald Trump's press secretary incarcerate the person
He is absolutely, if there was any person and any candidacy, you would say, I don't care if he loses this election. It's our patriotic duty to stop this maniac from becoming president of the United States. Who stops him, though?
Give me the name of the person, because Cruz has as many problems with women, believe it or not, just because of his ideology. And you
get the sort of Barry Goldwater moment where you ran a guy who could face,
Isn't he a sure
you
loser?
can bring the Tea Party back in. Yeah, but so is Donald Trump,
No one is a sure loser against Hillary Clinton. Who is clearly, no, hold on a minute.
I'll listen.
This is why I'm really worried. If we didn't have the weakest Democratic candidate since Dukakis, we could easily rest easy and think, oh, well, Trump can't get it.
Okay, so you think Hillary Clinton could lose to Cruz?
I don't think she's ever won a competitive election and won't. I'm troubled by what happened in Chicago. When you have a candidate in Trump who supports violence, condones violence, and will encourage violence.
Explain that.
Because every time there's been violence, he's defended the person inflicting violence, because his own campaign manager uses battery as a weapon against the press. This is a man who believes in violence. Why else would this man favor torture if he didn't see that as the ultimate form of power that he seeks? He's a thug. And this will lead to civil unrest in this country. There is going to be serious civil unrest. If we're lucky, we'll get through the civil unrest without him being president. But if he becomes president, God knows what will happen in this country.
What do you think stirred the black-white aspect out in Chicago, which was scary? What do you think stirred that? Was it a combination of Black Lives Matter as an organization?
The left has gone so far to the left, is now basically a Marxist, especially on the questions of race.
Who do you like? You're pretty broad-brushing. Hillary's a loser. She's in the caucus. The Democratic Party swept all the way to the left.
Well, not the whole Democratic Party.
Well, you said that.
No, I didn't. I said you mentioned Black Lives Matter. I mean, the left on the race question is now neo-Marxist in a way it hasn't been at all in the past.
Neo-Marxist?
Yes, it believes that race is a structurally, economically and socially imponderable and completely unmovable force. I mean, I've read Ta-Nehisi Coates. That's what it is. It's Marxism without the happy ending.
That's not quite what Ta-Nehisi says. I mean, he doesn't quite say it's unmovable. He says it's big.
No, he says it cannot be changed at all. The oppression is permanent because the structure is permanent, and there is no hope, only despair. He said that to his own son. You can't get anything more despairing than that about race in America. You have those attitudes on one side and Trump's white nationalism on another. You have a recipe for serious unrest in this country. And I think we're underestimating it by taking him as a regular candidate, by thinking about him in terms of demographics.
I agree. I agree on this polarization because, Gene, I made this point